Picture this for a moment. You are dating a woman who seems to embody everything you ever wanted. She is beautiful in a way that turns heads when she walks into a room. She is charming, funny, intelligent, and magnetic. Every man around notices her, and in your mind you feel proud that she chose to be with you. You treat her the way you always thought a man should treat a woman. You buy her flowers without hesitation. You make reservations at expensive restaurants. You text her each morning to wish her a good day, and each night you remind her how much she means to you. You try to embody the perfect gentleman that your parents told you to be, the kind of man who wins a woman's heart through kindness, attention, and care. You feel you are doing everything right, but behind the curtain something you cannot quite see is unfolding. She is slowly but surely losing interest. Her replies feel colder. Her laughter seems less genuine. The sparkle in her eyes that once appeared when you entered the room begins to dim. You are left confused, wondering how your constant affection, your devotion, and your efforts to be the perfect partner could possibly result in her drifting away. What I am about to reveal may completely overturn everything you thought you understood about women, love, and relationships. The uncomfortable reality, one that most men resist accepting, is that for a woman to truly desire you, to stay loyal to you, and to remain passionately in love, she must never feel entirely secure in your affection. She must always feel that she is reaching upward, striving to deserve your attention. The moment she feels that she has fully conquered your heart, that she can predict every move you make and every word you say, attraction begins to wither. This is not about being cruel, manipulative, or abusive. It is not about playing games for the sake of causing pain. It is about understanding the psychological mechanisms that govern female attraction on the deepest level. Think about it through the lens of history and biology. For hundreds of thousands of years, women's survival depended not only on their own choices, but on their ability to choose a man who could protect, provide, and lead. Their biology is programmed to seek men who display traits of strength, resilience, and higher survival value. In ancient times, this was not optional. A woman who chose a weak man, one who could not defend her or feed her during famine, risked her life and the lives of her children. The women who ignored these instincts often did not survive, and their genetic line disappeared. The women who chose wisely passed on their instincts to their daughters. That programming still exists in every woman's subconscious mind today. We live in modern society with grocery stores, police, hospitals, and safety nets, yet her brain still runs on ancient software. When she looks at you, her subconscious is not evaluating how sweetly you text her or how much you spend on gifts. It is scanning for signals of value, of strength, of confidence, of qualities that would have meant survival long ago. When she senses weakness, neediness, desperation, or total predictability, her brain registers you as a poor survival bet. She may not even understand why, but the attraction fades. This brings us to the reality of what is known as sexual market value. Think of it like an invisible ranking system, where every person is evaluated based on looks, resources, confidence, and social influence. But here is the secret that most men fail to grasp. Women do not become obsessed with a man because he objectively has the most money, or the best car, or the perfect physique. They become obsessed because of how his value is perceived relative to her own. And perception has very little to do with external possessions. It has everything to do with the energy you project, the confidence you embody, and the way you hold your frame. Let me give you an example. Imagine two men enter a room filled with people. One man is wealthy, in perfect shape, wearing tailored clothes. On paper, he looks like the ideal partner. The other man is dressed casually, works a modest job, and has no obvious status symbols. Yet when someone makes a joke, the second man responds with sharp wit and unshakable confidence. He does not try to impress anyone, but his authenticity lights up the room. Suddenly, women feel drawn to him, curious about him, excited by his presence. The millionaire, meanwhile, fades into the background because his external value does not translate into genuine energy. This illustrates the crucial truth. Women are drawn to a man's internal state, not his external achievements. When you smother a woman with affection too early, when you rearrange your schedule constantly for her, when you answer every message instantly and make her the center of your existence, you think you are showing love. In reality, you are signaling that she outranks you, that her value is higher than yours, that you are grateful just to be allowed in her presence. Her subconscious interprets this not as devotion, but as weakness. The paradox is cruel but clear. The harder you work to prove yourself to her, the less she respects and desires you. This is why so many so-called nice guys fail. They believe that if they only treat a woman better than other men, she will finally see their worth and reward them with loyalty and affection. But women do not fall in love with how well you treat them. They fall in love with how they feel about themselves when they are around you. If you make her feel like she is the prize, she may enjoy the validation, but she will not feel desire. If you make her feel like she must win your approval, she will invest more energy into you, and that investment creates attraction. Attraction is fueled by uncertainty. The less certain she is about your feelings, the more she thinks about you. The more she wonders what you are doing, why you have not texted yet, why you seemed calm when she tried to provoke you. This mental energy is the lifeblood of desire. When you are completely predictable, when she can script your next text in her mind, when she knows exactly how you will respond, she loses that spark of curiosity. And without curiosity, obsession cannot grow. This is why women often chase men who seem unavailable or emotionally distant. It is not that they enjoy being mistreated, it is that unpredictability ignites their subconscious survival mechanisms. A man who is difficult to pin down seems like he must have higher value. He must have options. He must be confident enough not to need her constant validation. These signals flip the switch in her mind that tells her to invest more, to chase harder, to fight for his attention. Meanwhile, the man who pours everything into her too quickly, who abandons his own life to orbit hers, who proves over and over that he cannot bear to lose her, becomes less and less desirable. She knows he will never leave. She knows he will never challenge her. She knows she has complete control. And with control comes boredom. Her subconscious concludes he is not the man who will protect her in crisis, not the man who can lead her, not the man who holds value higher than her own. Understanding this does not mean you must play cruel games or withhold affection forever. It means you must recognize the delicate balance between giving and withholding, between certainty and uncertainty, between showing love and preserving challenge. A woman will love you most when she feels she has earned your affection, when she feels you could walk away at any moment but choose not to, when she feels she is striving upward, yet always within reach. Now let us go deeper into the psychology that explains why women react the way they do. For most of human history, survival was uncertain. Food was scarce, danger was constant, and the choice of a partner was one of the most important decisions a woman could make. A poor choice did not just mean heartbreak, it could mean death for her and her children. This pressure shaped female psychology in ways most men still fail to comprehend. Hypergamy, the instinct to seek a partner of higher value, was not a preference, it was a survival mechanism. And though the world has changed, the instinct has not. Even today, when she interacts with you, her subconscious is running an ancient program. It does not matter that she can earn her own money, live independently, or survive without you. Her instincts remain the same, silently scanning for signals of higher value. When you behave in a way that reveals neediness, desperation, or dependence on her validation, those instincts are triggered against you. She may not understand why her attraction fades, but it fades nonetheless. Her body tells her that she is with someone who cannot provide security, not physical or financial security anymore, but emotional and psychological stability. That is what her mind craves. The sense that you are strong enough to remain calm under pressure, confident enough to lead, detached enough to walk away if necessary. This is why sexual market value is not about the numbers in your bank account or the car you drive. These are external markers. They may open doors, but they do not create obsession. What creates obsession is perception. A man who carries himself with an unshakable frame, who remains calm when tested, who does not beg for attention, is perceived as higher value even if he owns little. On the other hand, a man with wealth, looks, and status, who reacts with jealousy, insecurity, or desperation, is perceived as low value. Women are not calculating like accountants, they are reading your energy, your responses, your behavior in the small moments. Imagine two men again. The first is the classic successful man. He is educated, wealthy, and fit. He takes women to expensive restaurants, sends them flowers, and writes long messages about how special they are. At first, women are flattered, but soon they grow distant. They sense the imbalance in value. He is giving too much, proving too much, signaling that he feels lucky just to be noticed. The second man has little by comparison. He lives simply, works modestly, and does not shower women with gifts. Yet he treats his time and attention as something precious. He does not text constantly. He does not cancel plans with his friends to see her. When she challenges him, he does not collapse or panic. He simply remains calm, sometimes even amused. And this behavior, despite his lack of external status, drives women wild. They text him constantly. They invest in him. They obsess over him. Why? Because his perception of himself is higher, and so their perception of him becomes higher too. The cruel truth is that women will always be more attracted to the man who seems harder to win. The more uncertain she is of where she stands with him, the more mental energy she spends trying to figure him out. This is not manipulation, it is basic psychology. Human beings, not just women, value what feels scarce. We chase what we are not certain of. When you are completely predictable, you kill the mystery that fuels attraction. When you reveal every thought, respond instantly to every message, and express every ounce of affection too soon, you strip the interaction of uncertainty. She no longer has to earn your attention because you give it freely, and what is freely given is rarely valued. Think about how quickly people lose interest in things that come too easily. A gift given without effort is forgotten. An achievement reached without struggle feels hollow. The same principle applies to relationships. A woman wants to feel special, but she wants that feeling to be earned. When you place her on a pedestal from the beginning, when you treat her as though she is already above you, you remove the challenge that makes her desire meaningful. The compliments lose weight, the attention loses power, the affection loses impact. But when you make her earn your validation, when you give it sparingly and sincerely, it becomes infinitely more valuable. This is also why predictability kills attraction. When she knows exactly when you will call, exactly how you will respond, exactly what you will do, she feels no need to think about you. Her mind relaxes, and with that relaxation, desire disappears. Attraction thrives on tension, on the unknown, on the need to decipher another person. When she cannot predict you, she invests energy in analyzing you. That investment creates emotional attachment. When she can predict you, she feels she already has you, and so she stops caring. The so-called bad boy is not attractive because he is cruel. He is attractive because he is unpredictable. He does not follow the rules of how he is supposed to behave. He does not rush to apologize when she is upset. He does not smother her with attention every moment of the day. He prioritizes his own life, his own goals, his own frame, and that unpredictability keeps her engaged. She wonders if he is thinking about her. She wonders why he has not called yet. She wonders what he will say next. Her mind spins, and that spinning is what creates the sense of obsession. Women also test men constantly, though most men misunderstand these tests. They think she is testing whether they are strong enough, competent enough, or smart enough. In reality, she is testing only one thing: how much you like her. Every time she acts cold, every time she mentions another man, every time she cancels plans or challenges you, she is watching how you respond. If you panic, if you chase, if you overcompensate, you reveal that you value her more than she values you. And once that imbalance is revealed, attraction begins to die. Consider the comparison test. When she mentions another man or talks about an ex, most men fail by reacting with jealousy or defensiveness. They try to prove they are better, but the correct response is calm indifference. A simple acknowledgement, maybe even agreement, shows that you are unaffected. Or take the availability test. When she cancels plans at the last minute, the needy man scrambles to reschedule, showing he has nothing else going on. The high-value man simply moves on with his day. He does not complain. He does not beg. He demonstrates that his time is valuable and will not be wasted. These tests are not conscious manipulations. They are unconscious instincts, ways for her to measure your value. When you fail, you tell her you need her more than she needs you. When you pass, you show her that you are centered, stable, and confident. Passing does not require arrogance or cruelty. It requires self-respect. And self-respect is one of the most attractive qualities a man can display. Attraction is not a logical equation. It is not about fairness or morality. It is about psychology and biology. A woman cannot force herself to feel desire for a man she perceives as lower value. She may respect him, she may even love him in a certain way, but her body will not respond with passion. This is why so many relationships collapse when the man becomes overly accommodating. She may still care about him, but intimacy fades, arguments increase, and resentment grows. Her subconscious tells her that he is no longer a good bet for her survival, not in a literal sense anymore, but in an emotional sense. If he cannot stand up to her, how can he stand up for her? Understanding this can be painful. Many men resist it because it seems unfair. They want to believe that love alone is enough, that kindness and devotion should be rewarded. But reality does not bend to what we wish. Reality follows biology, and biology demands strength, confidence, and unpredictability. The man who understands this does not despair. He uses it to grow. He learns to maintain his frame, to respect himself, to create tension and mystery, to balance affection with challenge. In doing so, he awakens attraction that lasts, not just in the beginning, but for years. When you look closer at how women communicate attraction, you begin to notice a fascinating shift. At first, most of their communication is subtle and indirect. They hint rather than state. They imply rather than demand. A woman who is cold might say she is chilly instead of directly asking for your jacket. A woman who is hungry might simply mention food rather than suggest you take her to dinner. This covert style is their natural way of testing how attuned you are, how willing you are to lead, how much initiative you possess. But when she becomes genuinely invested, when she begins to worry about losing you, her communication style transforms. Suddenly she is direct, overt, and open. She says she misses you. She tells you she cannot wait to see you. She makes her feelings more obvious because the fear of losing you overrides her tendency towards subtlety. This change is one of the clearest signals that you have positioned yourself as higher value in her eyes. The reverse is also true. When a woman begins to pull away, when she grows colder and more distant, when her words no longer carry warmth or urgency, it is a sign that her subconscious has downgraded your value. This downgrade is not something she decides consciously. It is biological, an instinctual reaction that dates back to ancestral times. If she perceives that you are weak, that you crumble under her pressure, that you are desperate for her validation, her body sends a message. This man is not a safe bet. And once her body decides that, desire disappears. She may not even understand why she feels less attracted. She may say she loves you, but is just not in the mood. She may grow irritable around you for no clear reason, but beneath the surface, her instincts are warning her against long-term investment. This is why so many men experience relationships where intimacy vanishes, where affection is replaced by tension, where passion turns into obligation. They assume it is because love has faded, but love and attraction operate on different principles. She may still love you in a companionate way, but if attraction has died, she cannot feel desire. The bond becomes one of comfort rather than passion, and eventually she looks elsewhere for that spark she craves. To prevent this, you must understand that her attraction is tied not to your devotion, but to your ability to maintain your value. Society often tells men the opposite. The common narrative is that if you work harder, provide more, give more, she will appreciate you more. Men are told to hit the gym, earn more money, buy nicer clothes, and take her on more extravagant trips. These things may have surface-level effects, but they miss the deeper truth. External improvements can get her attention, but they cannot hold it if your behavior communicates low value. I have seen men with wealth, status, and power lose women to men with none of those things. I have seen millionaires abandoned for bartenders. And I have seen women chase after men who offered them nothing material, but who carried themselves with confidence and scarcity. This is why self-improvement is not the full solution. Yes, improve yourself. Yes, build your body, your career, your lifestyle. But do it for yourself, not as a strategy to keep her. Because if your internal state remains needy and dependent, no amount of external success will mask it. Women are experts at reading authenticity. They can tell when a man is confident because he believes in himself versus when he is confident only because he has temporary markers of success. If you build your confidence on possessions, you remain fragile. If you build it on inner strength, you become unshakable. This also explains the paradox of why women often choose men who treat them worse over men who treat them better. It is not that they enjoy mistreatment, it is that mistreatment can sometimes signal abundance and higher value. A man who does not prioritize her every need signals that he is not afraid of losing her, that he has other options, that he is confident enough to risk her disapproval. This triggers her instincts in a way that devotion and predictability do not. Of course, this does not mean you should be cruel. What it means is that being willing to risk her displeasure shows strength, while being desperate to avoid it shows weakness. Consider the man who never says no to a woman. He rearranges his schedule every time she asks. He agrees with everything she says, even when he disagrees internally. He floods her with compliments at every opportunity. At first, she may smile and enjoy the attention, but over time, she loses respect. She sees that he has no boundaries, no spine, no scarcity. He is entirely invested in her, which means she does not need to invest in him. Contrast this with the man who sets boundaries. He does not cancel important commitments for her unless truly necessary. He compliments her selectively and sincerely rather than constantly. He disagrees when he believes something different. He prioritizes his own goals as much as he prioritizes her. This man may frustrate her at times, but that frustration is part of the attraction. She knows she has to work for his approval, and that work makes her value it more. Human psychology is wired for intermittent reinforcement. When rewards are predictable, they lose their power. When rewards are inconsistent, they become addictive. This is why gambling is so powerful, why slot machines create obsession. A small, unpredictable reward keeps people hooked more than a constant, predictable one. Your attention works the same way. If you give it freely and constantly, it becomes background noise. If you give it sparingly and unpredictably, it becomes precious. The woman begins to chase it, to crave it, to obsess over when it will come again. This is the secret that most men miss. They believe women want constant reassurance, constant attention, constant affection. And in some ways, they do want it. But when they receive it without having to earn it, it becomes meaningless. It is the difference between a trophy handed to you and a trophy you had to fight for. The latter is cherished, the former is forgotten. Women want to feel special, but more than that, they want to feel that they earned that specialness. This is why they respect men who make them work for validation, and lose respect for those who give it away without effort. Predictability and routine are the enemies of passion. Think of how many relationships start with excitement, passion, and fire, only to fade into monotony. The man, believing he is being a good partner, calls at the same time every day, plans the same types of dates, repeats the same compliments. At first it feels safe and comfortable, but over time it becomes dull. She begins to feel that she has figured him out completely, that there is no mystery left, and when mystery disappears, so does desire. The solution is not to deliberately play games or manufacture drama, but to live authentically in a way that preserves challenge. Have your own goals, your own passions, your own boundaries. Let her wonder what you are doing sometimes. Let her feel the tension of not knowing exactly how you will respond. Let her experience the thrill of earning your affection, rather than being handed it unconditionally. This does not mean neglecting her. It means balancing certainty with uncertainty, affection with challenge, stability with mystery. At the heart of all of this is frame. Your frame is your perception of reality, your understanding of your own value, your beliefs about yourself and the relationship. A strong frame means you live according to your own standards and values regardless of external pressure. A weak frame means you bend to others, abandon your standards, and seek validation outside yourself. Women test your frame constantly. Every time they challenge you, every time they push against your boundaries, they are seeing if your frame holds. If you collapse, you reveal weakness. If you hold steady, you reveal strength. Attraction grows when your frame is stronger than hers, when she feels she is entering your reality rather than forcing you into hers. The uncomfortable truth that most men never learn is that love and attraction do not operate by the same rules. Love can be nurtured through care, consistency, and commitment, but attraction feeds on challenge, tension, and the perception of higher value. You can give a woman all the love in the world, but if attraction fades, the relationship becomes a shell. She may stay out of obligation, convenience, or comfort, but the passion that once lit her eyes will be gone. That is why so many men are blindsided when the women they treated best are the ones who eventually walk away. They believed love was enough, that kindness was the ultimate key. But without attraction, kindness is just background noise. To create lasting passion, you must balance both. You must be caring and committed. Yes, but you must also preserve your mystery, your boundaries, your self-respect. You must treat her well, but not at the cost of your own value. You must give her love, but in a way that makes her feel she has earned it. When she feels that she must continue to reach upward, when she feels challenged and inspired by you, her desire remains alive. This balance is delicate. Too much withholding and she feels neglected. Too much giving and she feels bored. The art lies in the middle ground, in creating a dynamic where she feels secure enough to trust you, but not so secure that she takes you for granted. It is the dance between stability and unpredictability, between affection and independence, between certainty and uncertainty. Men who master this dance are the ones who inspire deep, lasting obsession. One of the most powerful signals of high value is abundance. Abundance is not about the number of women in your life. It is about the mindset that you do not need any one woman to feel whole. It is the sense that you are complete on your own, that your life is rich with purpose, passion, and fulfillment, regardless of who is by your side. When you embody abundance, your actions naturally communicate it. You do not chase. You do not beg. You do not sacrifice your self-respect for attention. You move through life with calm certainty, knowing that you are enough. Women feel this, and they crave it, because it is so rare. Most men are starving for validation. Most men are desperate to hold on to any attention they can get. The man who is abundant is different. He chooses rather than pleads. He attracts rather than pursues. And that difference creates obsession. Abundance also transforms the way you lead. True masculine leadership is not domineering or controlling. It is decisive, confident, and steady. It is about knowing where you are going and inviting her to join you. A man who constantly asks, "What do you want to do?" or "Is this okay?" signals that he has no vision. A man who says, "We're trying that new place tonight," or "Here's the plan," signals that he knows his path. Women do not want to carry the burden of leadership in a relationship. They want to feel safe in your direction. When you lead with confidence, you give her the gift of relaxation. She can lean into her femininity. She can let go of control because she trusts that you will guide her. That is the essence of attraction, her ability to surrender to your strength. But leadership must be paired with empathy. Being decisive does not mean ignoring her feelings or bulldozing her opinions. It means holding your frame while still considering her perspective. It means respecting her, but not abandoning yourself to please her. When you hold that balance, she respects you more because she knows you are not easily swayed. And respect is the foundation of desire. A woman cannot feel passion for a man she does not respect. She may pity him, she may use him, she may even love him in a platonic way. But respect is the soil in which attraction grows. Investment is another crucial piece of the puzzle. In every relationship, whoever invests more emotional energy has less power. This is not about manipulation, it is about balance. If you are always the one calling first, always the one making plans, always the one rearranging your schedule, the investment becomes lopsided. She invests less, you invest more, and the imbalance erodes her attraction. Humans value what they invest in. When she invests energy in you, she becomes more attached. When you do all the investing, she takes you for granted. The key is reciprocity. Let her invest first. Let her show interest. Let her chase a little. Let her contribute effort. Then match her. Not more, not less. Match. When the balance is equal, attraction remains alive. When it is unequal, it dies. Frame control is perhaps the most subtle, yet most powerful skill you can develop. Your frame is the lens through which you see reality. It is your belief about yourself, about her, about the relationship. Women constantly test your frame to see if you will abandon it to please them. When you hold steady, when you remain calm in your truth, you communicate immense strength. The man with strong frame control does not need to argue or prove himself. He does not need to raise his voice or convince her. He simply remains rooted, confident, unshaken, and this steadiness is intoxicating. It tells her that she is with a man who knows who he is, who cannot be easily moved, who can lead through chaos. That sense of security awakens attraction at the deepest level. Many men fear that adopting these principles makes them manipulative or cold, but that is a misunderstanding. This is not about playing games or mistreating women. It is about aligning with the psychological realities that have existed for millennia. It is about respecting yourself enough to not give away your value for free. It is about recognizing that women do not fall in love with men because of how well they are treated. They fall in love with how men make them feel about themselves. If you make her feel like she has conquered you, she feels powerful but not attracted. If you make her feel like she must keep striving for your attention, she feels challenged, excited, and alive. The men who master this truth create relationships that remain passionate for years. They do not become predictable. They do not collapse into neediness. They do not confuse love with attraction. They understand that a woman wants both, the stability of love and the thrill of desire. They give her care, but they also give her challenge. They give her comfort, but they also give her uncertainty. They give her affection, but they also make her earn it. And this balance keeps her obsessed, loyal, and deeply invested. The choice is yours. You can continue down the path most men take, showering women with attention, abandoning your own value, hoping that devotion alone will win her over. Or you can embrace the uncomfortable truths about attraction and begin to embody the kind of man women cannot resist. A man who is abundant, confident, grounded, and unpredictable. A man who loves himself enough to never beg for love from others. A man who respects his own value so deeply that others cannot help but respect it too. When you become that man, everything changes. Women chase you, they invest in you, they obsess over you. Not because you manipulated them, but because you finally aligned yourself with the reality of human psychology. You stopped fighting biology and started working with it. You stopped trying to buy love with effort and started inspiring love through presence. You became a man whose value is undeniable, not because of possessions, but because of energy. This is the psychology of female attraction in its purest form. It is not a trick, not a tactic, not a game. It is a way of being. Become the man who does not need anyone to complete him, who leads with confidence, who gives affection with sincerity, who maintains mystery, who never abandons his frame. Do this, and women will not just love you, they will become addicted to you. They will chase you, fight for you, and stay loyal to you, because in their eyes, you will always be the prize.